Hey, good afternoon.
Well, some people's morning, right? You're in morning.
I, I always assume everyone else is later time zone than me, so I was playing it safe there.
We got all time zones covered on this meeting, I think, just about. Maybe not mountain, but I'm sure with the folks coming in. Welcome everyone. We are having people pop into the room right now. We are watching it um, get full. So we thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. Um, I know a lot of you have been on our webinars before, but just friendly reminder, this is a webinar, which is a little different than the Zoom meeting, which means like your faces aren't showing, so you don't have to worry about that. But you also can't speak, so we need you to use the Q&A box. You'll see it on your bar at the bottom, find Q&A. I recommend you open it. This is where you can add questions and you can see answered questions from other folks who have asked questions. So you might want to monitor that. So we do invite questions to this, and we're really excited about the webinar.
Yeah.
We got Abby back because you guys loved her so much the last time, and no, we're not related, but we should, we're friends.
Yes.
Have
Awesome.
the same initials.
And as people are still kind of trickling in, we'll just put the reminder out there as well. We record every single webinar. We put them out on our support site about 24 hours later. You'll also get the link emailed to you in a follow-up email about 24 hours after this ends. So, okay, I think we've let everybody in. I know there's probably a couple still coming, but we'll go ahead and get started and kick off our July 2025 webinar. Thank you for joining us. This month is all about Google Ad Grants with special guest Abby James. We are very excited to have her back. She joined us, if you remember, in our March webinar that talked all about strategies to boost website visibility, which we got a lot of great feedback from you guys on afterwards. So we're very happy to have her join us again.
Thanks, Jordan. Happy to be here.
Uh, okay, so for on the call today, you've got a bunch of familiar faces. Allison and myself, we are on the webinars every month. We also have Chrissy, one of your account managers. Brian, if you want to say hello, we've got our account executive on as well.
Hello. Yep. So I handle all new incoming projects. So if you just finished your July fiscal budget or you have plans for 2026, let's meet now. It's hard to believe we're past the half point of the year already. But yeah, if you refer people over as well, make sure you tell them that or to have them tell me that you sent them so we can give credit where credit's due.
Perfect. Thanks, Brian. And then, of course, we have Abby. And Abby, I'm not sure if you want to take just a second here to introduce yourself, maybe for those that weren't able to make our March webinar.
Sure, thanks. Yep, I'm Abby James. I am certified in the Google Ad Grant, and I work at Nonprofit Megaphone, but going to give an introduction on the Google Ad Grant today and talk about, how to apply, what it is, what it can do, and answer any questions people have today.
Wonderful. Thanks, Abby. So going into our agenda for the webinar, we always typically start off with a know our audience poll. So we'll launch into that next. Then we're going to go ahead and pass it over to Abby to teach us all about Google Ad Grants. And then we've got a feedback poll and then a wrap up at the end. So it's simplified agenda this month. So let's go ahead and jump to our poll. Allison, if you could get that launched.
It's
Wonderful, thank you. So the Know Our Audience poll is fairly easy this month. It is, do you have any familiarity with the Google Ad Grant program, or are you currently utilizing it? So we've got a couple options in here. Yes, you're familiar, but you aren't, taking advantage of it. If it's new information for you, maybe you are using it, but could use some help. And then, yes, we utilize it and we are familiar with it. So if you could take just a second to select an answer there.
Okay. Oh, almost everyone. Thank you guys for participating in the poll. And let's go ahead and end it and share our results.
Perfect.
Abby, can you see it? So here's the results that are up on the screen now. We've got 47% that this is new information. We've got a few of you that, oh, I haven't shared it yet. Let me hit share. I thought it was sharing. You couldn't see it. Sorry. Here you go. Now you can see it. 47% of you guys who this is new information. 37% have heard of it, but don't use it. So that's a huge chunk of you that this is just kind of all a learning mode. So that's information for you, Abby.
Perfect. That does help.
All right. That's all
Perfect.
yours, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and Abby, I will let you take over. Oh,
Sounds good. All right. Am I up and running? Everybody can see that?
we can, yep.
Perfect. All right. So yes, I'm going to, like I mentioned, give an overview of the Google Ad Grant. And yes, because this is new information, um, and most of you, it's new information or you're somewhat familiar but aren't using it. I think this will be a perfect introduction. Going to start kind of from the beginning and give you kind of an overview. I think this will be really helpful. Again, I'm not showing the Q&A that is available for me to pop up. So, oh, there it is. Okay. So I've got that open as well. If you want to throw questions in there, I can watch that as well. And we can dive in here. So I know we started with a poll, but I always like this stat as well. So a little bit of Google trivia. On average, sources say that there are blank amount of searches on Google per second. While you're thinking of this, I will say that Google recently came out with a new statistic that 85% of people online are utilizing Google, but how many do we think are actually searching every second? The answer is 99 to 105,000 searches per second. So basically, if you want to be found, one of the best places to be found is on Google, one of the most important places. Even now with the AI generated information, still very important to be on Google and to show up on Google searches. So what is the Google Ad Grant? Kind of as an overview, the Google Ad Grant is a program where Google gives nonprofit organizations $10,000 each month to essentially run ads on the Google search network. So I'm sure most of us are familiar with that right by now. We go to Google, we type in some keywords, and up at the top of the search results page, ads will show up. They're labeled sponsored. That changed about 7 or 8 months ago, but those are ads. So what I think we see most of the time are what we call paid ads, right? You're going to search tennis shoes and Nike is going to pop up. Well, Google realized that yes, for-profits will almost always be able to outbid nonprofits in this space. And so this is kind of Google's way of evening out that playing field a little bit, allowing nonprofits to also show up in search results, get your name out there, have people see you, kind of an old term, but a little bit of above the fold, if you will, up at the top of those search results page. Now, the $10,000 kind of resets the first of the month every single month, as long as you are compliant with Google's rules, regulations, and policies. I'll get into those a little bit later on. But I do want to show you kind of what does that look like. I think it always kind of helps. So, for example, COPD Foundation. You go into Google, you type in, do I have COPD? You can see one of their ads there popped up at the top of the search results page. You can see it's got a headline, it's got a couple sentences for the description. It's got some site link extensions there where it says about us and contact us. So those are the ads that Google gives you some in-kind advertising dollars to run. And that is what they look like. You would never really know if you were looking at a paid ad or a grant ad. They look, behave, feel the same. So most people would never know kind of what ad they were looking at. So what can the Google Ad Grant do? Other than, of course, drive awareness, it increases brand awareness, allows you to be found easier, faster, better through Google, gets your name out there so that more people can find you and are aware of what you do, what you offer, things you have, maybe webinars, events, those kinds of things. You can engage donors. You can connect with people who share your same mission, who are interested in what you're doing. Helps you focus your strategy, fine-tune your marketing. It's a great complement to paid ads. Also, helps with any of your digital marketing. It's a good complement to all of that. You can share thought leadership. You want people to find your resources, read your content, find your information. You can also sell tickets. You can sell merchandise. I think that is often not known about the Google Ad Grant because you think as a nonprofit, if you do have anything that you offer that is revenue generating, you can certainly promote those things, webinars, tickets, merchandise, your shop, recruit members. There's just a lot of different uses depending on kind of what your goals and priorities are for your organization. So thinking about your organization, what do you think you could use the Google Ad Grant for? If you think about your website and people coming to your website, think about what do you want them to do once they get there? Do you want them to contact you to sign up, to become a member, attend your events? Maybe you've got a 5K that you want them to register for. Think about those kinds of things that you would want people to do, what kind of action you want them to take once they do get to your website. That will inform kind of what ads you want to run and the keywords. It's just always kind of a good practice also to just kind of think about, yep, what am I after? What do I want people to do with my organization? So kind of digging into this, what does this look like starting out with? This I will provide this, I'll give this link to this presentation. So I'm not going to hit on everything in the presentation, but as a quick overview for the Google Ad Grant application process, this program actually sits under the Google for Nonprofits umbrella. There's a couple different programs within Google for Nonprofits, so definitely, go check that out. There's some YouTube programs. They offer some things for nonprofits. So essentially, what you're going to be doing is applying for Google for Nonprofits first. So you're going to want to, and I cannot officially meet the eligibility requirements. So basically, if you are a 501c3, you are not a school or a government entity, you will essentially, you are essentially approved or would be eligible for the Google Ad Grant. There are, I believe, over 65 countries that would also be eligible. So, Canadian organizations, basically, if you are 501c3 adjacent in these other countries, you are also eligible. I will say, a lot of the times, if you are like a foundation of a government entity, for example, a lot of libraries, where they have, friends of the library, and you are the foundational arm or the philanthropic arm of a organization, those are often eligible as well. Once you know you're eligible, you do want to prepare your website. Just remember, this is going to start driving traffic to your website. So you want to make sure, again, that it is set up. It has good landing pages, sufficient landing pages. Google is going to specifically be looking for mobile friendly. That is a big part of what Google is going to be looking for. Page speed, how quickly your site loads, is also something that Google's going to want to look at. And of course, I'm sure the team works with you on, making sure that you have good content. Let's see, I've got a question. You can run maximum Google campaign ads. You can run ads through Gmail, YouTube search. I know what you're talking about. Yes, good question, John. I think what you're referring to is the Performance Max campaigns. Maybe correct me if I am wrong, but yes, Performance Max is starting to be rolled out into Google Ad Grants. We never kind of know if it's going to be available until we're actually in the account. But yes, Performance Max are more like display ads, where they can show on other Google platforms. So I think that's what you are referring to. That sounds right. But yes, yep, that is a new feature being rolled out. Yep.
One of the things that I think is interesting as you talk about Google and, someone throws out YouTube and your Gmail and your different things, and we got Google Analytics and we got all these Google products, right? How they are so interconnected. And I know for a lot of folks who are thinking on getting this started, and correct me if I'm wrong, Abby, if they have a Gmail account for their organization that they're using for YouTube or whatever, for a YouTube account, they would choose to use that same one for all these, right? Typically, you want to hold on to like the one main login and tie them all together.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, we run into a lot of organizations who, yeah, have signed up. One person has signed up for this program, another, yeah, and they're kind of all spread out. Yeah, it's best if you do kind of have one login that houses all that information. Maybe an info or an admin or kind of a generic email that maybe multiple people could log into and manage these different programs. Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, once your website is prepared, you're going to essentially register with GoodStack. GoodStack is the third-party vetting platform that Google uses to essentially make sure that you are a 501c3. So look for emails coming from GoodStack. They're going to want to verify you. It's often weird. They are going to pull an email address from your website to essentially verify you. So it might be, yes, an info ad or an admin ad or an email address that you have on your website. They're going to pull that and email that address for you to, verify that you are who you say you are. So you're going to want to watch for that. Once they've vetted you and verified you, then you can officially enroll in Google for Nonprofits. And then once you are in Google for Nonprofits, then you will submit an application for the Google Ad Grant. So a couple different steps there. If you go to Google for Nonprofits, and I think this will pop up for me, Google for Nonprofits. You click up here in this Get Started and kind of follow the directions. It'll lead you through the process. Now, just a few of the eligibility or the, eligible and compliance that I mentioned in the beginning in order to maintain your access to the grant every single month. These are just a few of the compliance, but they're kind of some of the bigger ones. Specifically, you're going to need to be able to keep your click-through rate at 5% or above. Now, the Google average search network click-through rate, or CTR, is 3%. So Google does hold its grant recipients to a little bit of a higher standard there, which essentially means that however many ads are shown on the search results page, 5% or more of those people need to click on them. So tightly targeted keywords, relevant ads, all of that will kind of help you keep that click-through rate high. Your ads can only be directed to website domains that you own. Some nonprofits own several domains, and that's perfectly fine. You can get those different domains approved, but you cannot send ads to your YouTube page, for example. You can't send ads to your Facebook page or even to a donation page if it's on a different platform, for example. So you need to send them to your website and your website only. Ads also need to, kind of reflect the mission of the approved nonprofit. Again, keywords need to be relevant to your offerings, your programs, your services, your events. And the account needs to kind of stay active. Google wants to see active management in the account. So you can't just really set it and forget it and never return to it. You are going to want to, we suggest, logging in at least once a month, make some changes, check your keywords, update some things, optimize, pause some ads if the event is over, just kind of staying on top of it a little bit. And that will help keep your account active, keep your marketing engine running so that the ads continue to show. So kind of the structure of an ad account, which is it's difficult to visualize this when you're actually in the account. So I think this is really helpful if you're thinking about it this way. So once you're in the account, the account is structured such that the hierarchy is, yes, your account, and then within the account sit campaigns. So for an example, I'm going to use a campaign for maybe your year-end fundraising. It's good to name your campaigns very specific, something like this, so that you know what are those ads, what are my goals with it, what kind of keywords am I running in there. Just kind of helps organize the account and keep it very clear. So for example, inside the campaign, you've got different ad groups. So for example, maybe one of your year-end fundraising is a Giving Tuesday. So you've got an ad group for Giving Tuesday, and then you also want to run ads for maybe holiday giving. So that would be a separate ad group. Again, this is going to help that CTR, keeping your ads and your keywords very focused. So then within those ad groups, again, talking about the hierarchy of these accounts, within the ad group, are the keywords. So for Giving Tuesday, we're going to use Giving Tuesday 2025. Donations for Giving Tuesday. Best nonprofits for Giving Tuesday. Focusing on kind of that keyword of Giving Tuesday. That's going to kind of holistically be what that campaign or what that ad group is about. And again, making sure that you're not throwing in different keywords into that ad group is going to help keep those ads really relevant and keep your click-through rate higher. And as you can see again for like holiday giving, that would be holiday giving, holiday donations, where to donate this holiday, keeping those keywords really tightly focused. So again, account, campaign, ad groups, keywords is how these accounts are set up. This is kind of what what an early or what a young account might look like. You might have just a few campaigns. Yeah, maybe a donation campaign, maybe an event campaign, or, some type of services campaign with several ad groups in each campaign. It is fine to use evergreen, keeping ads running, donation ads, keep those running all year. Support, events, think about what could be running all year. There is no limit to how many keywords, ad groups, or campaigns you can have an account. And in fact, a very mature and built out account will look more like this, if not even bigger. Thousands of keywords potentially in your account after you have built it out over time. So that's kind of what you're going for. And again, it's very different than a paid account where you've got $10,000 to spend, right? So go big, I think, in the beginning. Promote a lot of what you have, draw traffic from a lot of different sources. And then once you see what's working, what's not working, maybe what campaigns are converting, what's not converting, then you could kind of start to narrow it down a little bit. Trouble selecting keywords. Messages that keywords are not good. What is the trick? Yep, good question. Leads right. I mean, beautiful segue here, Jennifer. Yes, so keywords. Keyword research is a lot of what you will be doing to build a Google Ad Grant account for sure. I specifically like to use here at the very bottom of this slide, Google Trends is a great one to go in, search for. You can change the so if your geo-targeting is maybe just statewide or just your county or something, you can change where you're looking at to see if those keywords are being searched in your area. So yes, going to Google Trends is a great option for you. Type in those keywords, see if there is any volume. Another great resource is Answer the Public. You can go in and kind of, just type in something. And then it will give you a bunch of different options, who, what, when, where kind of questions. It'll give you some idea of what people are searching for. And those are actually two great resources to use, not only for your Google Ad Grant account, but even figuring out what kind of content should you be putting on your website. You know, maybe one of the worst things is spending a lot of time on a blog article or something like that, just to find out that actually nobody is even searching for that subject, right? So do some of that kind of research, maybe even before you create some content. But yes, talking about website and content and those keywords, this is always kind of our suggestion for landing pages. On your website, you'll want, at least 10 or more qualified landing pages. And what kind of is a qualified landing page? You do want each page to focus on a single primary topic. So if you have a page for holiday giving, should talk about holiday giving, give a call to action for the holiday giving, and even a separate page for Giving Tuesday, a different landing page for Giving Tuesday, so that you are driving traffic to those very specific pages. Remember, Google wants to remain a verb, right? I always joke and I say, yeah, go give it a Goog.